This video contains a practical 3-step formula that can reduce the time it takes for our brain to develop new habits. It is for those who want to transform their life but feel stuck in their old patterns. And it works especially well if you're trying to make a longer habit, like a morning routine, a night routine, or a workout routine. This is a step-by-step guide that you can follow along for any kind of routine or habit that you want to make. But to showcase how it works, I'm going to give an example of how you can use it for a night routine. The best way to follow this video is go over it once, and if what I'm saying makes sense, then you can go over it again, pausing at each step and completing it for yourself. So without wasting time, let's get straight into step 1, which is get clarity. This is the most important step that people skip. The reason you want to change your current habit is there is a future in your head that you want to get to. Maybe it is something that you want to achieve, or it is something that you want to feel within yourself. This is your desired future. And then there is your current reality. This is the actions that you're taking on a regular basis now, but you know that if you continue down this path, you will not reach your desired future. Habits are things that will bridge this gap. It is sets of routines that we know if we do daily, we can reach our desired future. So now there are 3 parts to this equation: your current reality, your desired future, and the habit change that will facilitate that happening. The first step is all about getting clarity on these 3 things. For this step, you want to take out a pen and a paper, and you want to make 3 columns: current reality, habits, and desired future. The first part is the current reality. What you want to do here is you want to write down what is it that you're doing now, that is your daily actions, and what is the trajectory. That is, if you keep doing these actions without changing them, how do you see yourself in the future? What kind of person you become, and what kind of results do you get? What we are trying to do here by writing this is exploring our pain point. What is it that makes us want to change our current behavior? If this pain point is strong enough, then it will be easier for you to form new habits. Change in our brain is derived from pain and pleasure. We want to go away from pain and towards pleasure. This is why it is so easy to get addicted to things that give us pleasure, like drugs, social media, and it is hard to form habits that give us some sort of pain, like going out to the gym. Right now, we are trying to tell our brain that what we are doing now hurts, and to get to a better future, we have to incorporate these different habits, and these habits make us feel good. Next up is the desired future. Now you want to look at what is it that you want to achieve from changing this habit. Is it a particular outcome? Is it how you want to feel inside? And you want to write about that. To give you an example, what this looks like in context of a night routine is, I have decided to change. My current routine does not fit my expectations for the future. Right now, I'm going to bed not at a particular time, and I don't have a routine before. This makes me go to bed sometimes at 10 p.m., sometimes 11, sometimes 12. So my morning routine suffers, and as a result, my productivity throughout the day suffers. See how I'm trying to exaggerate what not having a proper night routine is doing to my life. Next, you can say, I would love to have a routine where I'm meditating and journaling at night and doing my prayers. This makes me feel connected to the source. This gives me clarity for my next day and my future. This gives me calm to pursue my goals for the next morning. This gives me a good sleep. So you will identify all the benefits that you will get if you follow your night routine. Right now, we are making a story. This is our current reality, but if I do this, my reality is going to change, and we are connecting this habit to that story. Once you have written that down, now you have clarity on your why, which is the most important, as this is what will give you energy to change. Next, we want clarity on what. What is this habit? The more clear you are with this habit, the easier it is going to stick with you. You want to ask yourself when you will perform this habit, for how long you will perform this habit, the exact steps that are involved in completing this habit. What would happen if I have only half an hour and you have allocated 1 hour for this habit? If you travel a lot, then you have to write down what would happen to this habit when I travel. Get as much clarity on it as you can, so your brain never has to think. This is the whole point of making a habit, that it is automatic execution. If you have to think in all these scenarios, like you came home late and you only have 30 minutes, now what do? then there is a chance that you will skip this habit. You want to get specific about the timing, and you also need to be very specific about the trigger. A habit is an automatic response to a trigger. So there needs to be something strong that triggers that habit. For example, for the night routine, the trigger can be an alarm that you set on your phone. As soon as the alarm rings, your body automatically starts executing the task for your night routine. This is the kind of automatic behavior we're trying to install in our body. What this would look like in our example is, my night routine starts at 9:30. As soon as I hear the alarm, I go to my bed, I turn off all notifications from my phone, and I bring up my night routine checklist and I start going through the steps. We will talk about this more in the next step. If you have completed this step properly, by the end, you should have a clear vision of what you need to do step by step. You should be able to visualize it very clearly. You should be able to know all the different contingency plans in case something goes wrong. And you should know why you are doing it in the first place. Step 2, design the environment. The idea here is to design our environment in a way that it is very conducive to our habit. This is a technique used by supermarkets where they place certain food items in specific places so that it drives extra traffic throughout the mall. And it is used by social media companies to design the apps in such a way that it is easier for you to keep continuing to watch. For example, the automatic play next on Netflix or YouTube, or the automatic scroll on Instagram. The first thing that you want to design in your environment is the strong hook, the strong starting point for your habits. This is what will trigger your habits, and the more clear it is, the more automatic your response is going to be for this. For example, the trigger for the night routine is the alarm. As soon as that goes off, I start executing the next steps in my night routine step by step, like a robot. If you are using an alarm, then make sure you're using a specific alarm for this specific activity. For example, the alarm that you use for the night routine cannot be the same one that you use for your morning routine. It has to be a specific sound that triggers a specific area of your brain into a specific pathway. Again, we're trying to reach the same level of automatic execution that we have while brushing our teeth. If you have ever noticed, any time you brush your teeth, it is the exact same pattern that you follow for roughly the same amount of time. If you notice how you get out of a car, you will see how little changes every time you do it. And that's the point. You never think about getting out of a car or brushing your teeth. And you will never have to think about doing your night routine or a morning routine or a workout routine if you follow these steps. The next thing that you want to do is make a momentum checklist. It can be something like this small notebook that I use, or it can be an app on your phone. There's many good apps. I will link one in the description. Now, this momentum checklist is not like your average checklist. For example, if my night routine is take a shower, meditate 20 minutes, journal 20 minutes, pray, visualize, go to sleep. So instead of making these steps like shower, meditate, pray, visualize, sleep, we will do a different thing. We will focus on the small things that we need to do to execute these actions. For example, in the case of night routine, it would look something like this. As soon as the alarm goes off, that is the trigger. Step 1, turn off all notification. Step 2, get the momentum notebook. Step 3, go to the bed where I want to meditate. Step 4, put on a timer for 10 minutes and meditate. You can see it is much more clear and less intimidating than meditate for 10 minutes. It is clear steps that I can follow, and it becomes like a dance that you do. If you want to get consistent with doing something, you cannot rely on motivation. Building momentum is a much better strategy. A popular example that is given to show this point is that in order to make a workout habit, all you need to do is make a habit of putting on your clothes and showing up to the gym. Just take care of the first few steps and let momentum take care of the rest. This is it for step 2. If you have done this step correctly, then you would have clarity on how exactly you're going to move when you execute this habit. In your head, it should feel like a dance, a rhythm. You should be able to visualize in your head how exactly this is going to unfold. It is a full rhythm that does not change. If it does not change, it will get hardwired really fast. Now, the final step is the visualization drills. We know that when we visualize something, the same set of neurons and pathways get activated in our brain as would when we are performing the action. Inside our heads, there is not much of a difference between doing something and visualizing ourselves doing it. And these mental pathways keep getting stronger the more we use them. There is no going around the fact that we need to repeat an action over and over again for it to become automatic. This is the technique that is used by the military for their cadets. They keep repeating it to a point where in combat scenarios, when they have split seconds to decide, they don't have to decide, it is automatic. And the same technique is used by athletes. It's drills, repetitions. But since we don't have the patience to keep doing it over and over again, we want to transform our lives, we want to establish many habits. In this case, what you can do is you can visualize the actions. For this last step, we want to connect our visualization practice with our trigger that we had decided earlier, which is going to be the starting point of the habit. Here is what it looks like in practice. I will dedicate 10 minutes to doing these visualization drills. For example, for my night routine, I will play the alarm that I'm going to use as a trigger later on, and when I hear this alarm, I'm going to execute the first 3 steps of the habit. So as soon as I hear the alarm, I go to my bedroom, I turn off the notifications from my phone and I put it away. Then I take my journal out. After that, I'm going to visualize the rest of the night routine. So it is only the first part that you're hardwiring now, that you're drilling for, because it will be too long for you to repeat the whole process again and again. You are just trying to hardwire the actions that happen immediately after you hear the trigger. Alarm rings, you do step 1, 2, 3, visualize the rest. Then repeat it. Alarm rings again, do step 1, 2, 3, and visualize the rest. You will find that the resistance that you feel before starting a habit, like a night routine or a workout routine, will disappear very fast with this practice. The more you practice this visualization drill, the easier these habits will be installed in your brain. How many drills you have to do depends on how fast you want this habit to become automatic. If you do more drills, then this can become automatic faster, and then you can move on to apply the same method on a different habit that you want to form. But first, start with just one routine. Now, if what I've said has made sense to you, it is time to watch this video again and follow it step by step. You do not have to do all these steps in a single go. Maybe today you can just go on a walk and think about getting clarity. Tomorrow you can design the environment and start visualizing. If you are a beginner at visualizing, just start with 5 minutes. Even in 5 minutes, you can execute this for 5, 6 or 7 times depending on how long your habit is. If you decide to do 7 repetitions in your visualization practice, for your mind in 10 days it would have had 70 repetitions. This is the power of this technique. With this, I end the video. If you try this and you like it, let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take it easy.